I better be careful about playing this on stream. I might get ESWATted. Welcome to ESWAT City Under Siege by Sega for the Genesis/Mega Drive. ESWAT came out in 1990 for the Genesis, at least this version did. The Master System version came out in the same year, I believe, while the arcade version was a year previous. In the arcade, this was known as Cyber Police ESWAT, and I believe that was the same name that it had in Japan. There's been a lot of notice of this version of ESWAT being much different from the arcade, and that was because the people who programmed it thought of it more as a continuation of the arcade. And there were a fair few changes, which I'll go into as we go through the game. But for all intents and purposes, you can consider this a continuation of the arcade. This did get re-released a couple of times on Sonic's Greatest Arcade Hits, I believe was the title. Also, it was redone for the 360, and it was also redone and currently available on Steam by itself. So the legacy of ESWAT does continue. Without further ado, we got to stop crime in a future time. And let's see the intro. Vector Man. Search, okay. Ultra Ear Programmer, Ultra Pad Designer. Seshi Arts. Sound Dolphin. Familiar name for the Genesis games. Weapons Power. My arms broke.
ESWAT.
That is the game we are playing, yes indeed. Misfit, I know you're familiar with this. This was a game that Unplayed a long while back. I actually got his blessing to play this because I'm afraid at some point I'm going to end up stealing a joke or two from him. But he was said he was not only perfectly fine with that, but flattered. Okay, so I'm going to be playing this on easy because it best fits my playing ability, and even on easy, this game can be a cast iron bitch sometimes. Okay, and we go right into level 1, and helicopter problems. Guard Silent City. Also guard the hills around Silent City. Bad stuff happens there. Okay, so this officer actually has a name, at least he did in the Japanese version. His name was Duke Oda. ODA. If there is a name for him in the American version, it was never revealed. It wasn't in the manual or anything, and there was no localization of his name that I could find. And so you basically start out with a standard pistol. Shot is not as bad a weapon as some people say it is because you can actually block enemies' bullets with it. And I do love that Genesis glass breaking sound. So now we got that thing up here and I want it to maneuver into me. I can shoot all day, just... Yeah, there we go. And I hate that motherfucker. Everybody walking around with, rifles and handguns and drones lobbing mortar shells at you, and, fucking Ty Cobb's, slide spiking his way into second is the biggest threat you have in this stage. Seriously, why didn't everybody just do that if that's the case? Okay, so we're going to jump around here, and I can do a jump to get rid of this guy, and I definitely want to, and I find it easier to jump over his bullets. Haha. Dodge that time, you prick. Okay, and I'm going to drop a quick Actually, I'm going to change save states here, if you'll give me a moment as we go through the game. It's not that this boss is difficult, it's just that I want to try to beat it a certain way. So we have the helicopter here, and it'll maneuver back and forth. And if you pick your spotlight, you can get several shots on it while it's up in the sky. It'll cruise here and then dive down. Now from here it's going to come up on one of the two sides. There it is. And little helicopter legs. I love it. So we're going to see if we can get it doing what I want it to do. Okay, there it is. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Like, oh no, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Mission completed.
Oh yeah, the guy just keeps sliding off of the building. Absolutely. Now, interesting thing. This guy was actually one of the final bosses in the arcade. Infiltrate cyber prison. So we start on a platform here, and this is kind of strange. We don't want to go in there. People on the... wow, he's going fast. Yeah, people on the platforms will try to fire at us. We do occasionally have turrets that will try to fire at us. They are not the easiest things in the world to avoid, if you're not careful. So we are in here now. I hope those beams are showing up okay on the capture. And we got the huge guys with the ball and chains. I'm just going to let them do their thing to show you. Yep. They just swing the ball and just follow the momentum and kick you. Why they wouldn't try to hit you with the ball, no idea. But anyway, one thing Un did reference here, I'll definitely make a reference to. He mentioned thinking when he was a kid, I believe he said, that he had the guys in the uniforms with the rifles. He thought at first they were prison guards, so he was afraid he was just shooting the wrong people. I can kind of see that. I mean, you know, it's quite obvious, you know, who the big criminals actually are. But the other ones, yeah, I could see some confusion there. Also, very similar cell blocks. This must get very confusing when the time comes to do an audit or something. Those green lasers are supposed to be flickering. Maybe it'll show up, maybe it won't. I don't know. I don't think it will. But anyway, we just keep shooting our way through here. You can't see me. Every cell block is D1, so that just adds to the confusion there. It is possible to get these guys to knock backwards towards you. They don't seem to be doing it. Very important here, that arrow says go, and it's pointing to the right. You want to go right, not down. Hello, Chris. Good to see you, my friend. Yes, ESWAT. So we have this conveyor here, and we actually want to duck on it to get to the foreground. And we do want to get back over the fence for one simple reason. When these guys land... If you are on the other side of the fence, they'll jump it, and when they land, they will shoot a shot from their cannons. But you can block their shots. Assuming you don't completely fuck up. And now that the guy that's jumping is done, we have this intellectual dead end here, who is just going to keep shooting until the end of time. So all you have to do, one pop in the knee and he's done. Yay, New Year's Day! Celebrate! And we are promoted to ESWAT. In the arcade, there's actually 3 promotions you need to get, going along with capturing 3 different bank robbers. Defend Neo 3 Mile, because the first 3 Mile Island went so well for us. So as you see, we still have our regular shot, and it functions the same way as before. But the good thing about this with the ESWAT suit, if you die, you do get a bunch of special weapons, but if you die, you lose whatever special weapon you were using. In the crotch. 1 up the grundle. But if you have a shot and you die, you never lose that. And we have our first weapon here, the PC. PC, by the way, stands for Plasma Charge, not Plasma Cannon, as I thought for so many years. And that's what the Plasma Cannon, or Plasma Charge, does. Big shot, and then you can hold it down for, or tap it repeatedly for rapid fire. This is what you get if you have turbo. Well, you know, yeah, he's not exactly going to make the GQ best dressed, but it gets the job done. And now we have the Rocket Launcher, which is very weird. It starts out above your head, and then goes along the ground and actually has solid target penetration. Very, very strange, that. But also very handy in a lot of situations. Hey, Scorn. Well, glad to have you stopped in. Appreciate it. Enjoy said restaurant. Leave a nice big tip for me in case I ever get there. And now we have our next weapon, which is the Super. Super, this was the default weapon in the ESWAT arcade game. Even though I have turbo on, this is still rapid fire. It's 3 shots at a time. Generally speaking, this is a pretty good overall weapon as a default weapon. You're going to be a problem, aren't you? The one problem I have with the Super, unlike the shot, the Super does not stop bullets. It's easy to think that it would, but sadly it does not. Since Un was fine with me taking the occasional joke, I'm going to do one of them here. He mentioned this was Neo 3 Mile, not to be confused with Neo 8 Mile, home of Neo Eminem. I thought that one is so good. And finally we have Fire, and after I get these guys out of here, I'll demonstrate it. Oh, by the way, that's also the jetpack here, so we can hover for a long time. We can also zip around. So I'm going to drop a quick stave so I can demo Fire. So Fire is the basically screen clearer. It'll destroy or damage all enemies on the screen. The only problem is it will completely drain your burner through use, and it will expel itself in the process. So you'll have to reclaim it. Fire is not something I'm going to use all that often, especially because the burner is something very handy to have, and I just don't want to be without it. So this guy, even on easy, this guy can be kind of tricky, and on the harder levels, he is a just super bastard. So you want to let him fire off the helmet. Easiest way I've found. Now you can, if you want, try to get into a jump battle, get some shots in on him, and then try to jump back over the helmet. I don't find it worthwhile because it's more likely to get you hit. But that rocket launcher technique with the jetpack? Yeah. Oh yeah, fire at a nuclear power plant. Any of these weapons at a nuclear power plant. And, Zombie Rick Sanchez next. Attack Mad Scientist. I will say this is my favorite level in the whole game and one of my favorite levels in video games. Especially because of this music. So you'll notice no burner, first and foremost. Yeah, either because we're in a flammable environment or just because it's close quarters and it doesn't really matter. We have no burner for the majority of this mission. So the big feature here is this black pudding, black slime, whatever it is. This is probably, I'm guessing this is something the Mad Doctor himself has made. That slime you can't do anything about, and if it reaches your head, you are dead as Dillinger. This slime you can push back, though. And the super is a good weapon for that. I believe you can probably push it back with the rocket launcher, but unfortunately, once it's already there, there's nothing you can do about it. These things can be destroyed with one hit from the plasma charge, but it's not really worth it, given the charge time you need. So we got this barrier here, you need to push it back and then high jump over it. Simple and simple. And push that back to cover your tracks up. And now we have a Sega slow-moving elevator segment like they love in so many of their games. So the slime, as it comes up, is going to raise the platform. You can destroy the bits of slime that the fingers are shooting. Your best bet is to try to just get yourself away from their arc ahead of time. And I'm actually impressed that I managed to do that well. Normally I don't. Yes, no burner, I remember. Okay, so now the slime is coming from below us. Fortunately, we have these pontoons on the ceiling. We can either bop them with our head or shoot them down. And we just, wait, there we go. Just wait enough. And let's see. And the rocket launcher does an acceptable job, but I think I'd still rather have the super for that. And all four of those are going to bust at once. I don't know what those things remind me of. I swear I saw something like that in a movie once. I'm totally tortured now as to where it was from. Hopefully by the time this becomes a YouTube video I can remember. If not, I apologize to you once again. There's no point really in that vertical shaft. It's not going to help you any. Job number one is still getting out of that tunnel before the slime catches up to you. Odd explosions and our burner refills. And here we have the Mad Scientist. Fortunately, he is pretty easy to deal with. We can just hover here, use the super or whatever to get the top sensor. I love how he just, puts his hands up whenever he's hit, like, I give up. No, I don't. And use the rocket launcher to get the middle. Plasma cannon action, or charge, whatever, plasma, whatever, on the middle one for that. Definitely a cool touch how he launches slimy ESWAT clones at you. And pretty simple overall. Yeah, he's a wily wannabe pretty much.
Mission completed.
Here, have plasma in your face. Think about what you've done, see you in the sequel. Which there never was. Destroy Dark Base. Okay. Okay, now this is where I'm going to pause and lay down a save state because this mission is, for me at least, the most difficult ESWAT mission in the entire game. And yeah, work on your eyebrows. Yeah, you gotta get the flexing down. But yeah, this one is going to be the one where I do a whole lot of saves coming. And I will be celebrating like a madman when I get through it. So let me just psych myself up for it. Until the next episode will probably do. So always remember, if you're going to be a mad scientist, make sure you don't leave any flammable stuff around. And for God's sakes, yeah, like Misfits said, work on your eyebrows. You look the part at least. So take care until we game again. This episode's Death Row Freak Show was made possible by Mike Panza, Viceroy Scorn, Rick in Baltimore, D. Iote, Jumpy Cat, the post-production contributions of Matthew Carr Anderson, and all my slightly perturbed genius lycanthro fans. Thank you very much for your continued support. Until we game again.